welcome to Mia's Stories. Make sure to subscribe to never miss an update, and a lucky chance to video chat with me. As the lights dimmed in the movie theater, I sat nervously in my seat, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. I had always been curious about exploring my feminine side, and tonight was the night I decided to take the plunge. Dressed in a tight miniskirt, fishnet stockings, and a lacy bra underneath my blouse, I felt a rush of adrenaline as the movie started. As the film played on the screen, I discreetly applied some bright red lipstick and fluttered my eyelashes, feeling more and more like the sissy I had always wanted to be. The movie was a steamy romance, and as the characters on screen engaged in passionate love scenes, I couldn't help but imagine myself in their place. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my thigh, and I turned to see a handsome stranger sitting next to me, his eyes dark with desire. "You look so pretty," he whispered, his voice sending shivers down my spine. Without a word, he leaned in and kissed me deeply, his tongue exploring my mouth as I moaned softly in response. As the movie came to an end, I found myself in a daze, my body tingling with desire and anticipation. The stranger stood up and offered me his hand, leading me out of the theater and into the dimly lit hallway. I followed him obediently, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness at what was to come. We entered a small room at the back of the theater, and my heart raced as I saw a group of men waiting inside. They all turned to look at me, their eyes hungry and lascivious as they took in my sissy outfit. "You're in for a treat, sweetie," one of them said with a cruel smile, and I felt a thrill of fear run through me. Without a word, the men surrounded me, their hands roaming over my body as they exposed my lingerie-clad form to their hungry eyes. I was pushed to my knees, and one of the men began doing what men do best. I surrendered, taking it into my mouth as I felt a surge of satisfaction at being used so shamelessly. The men took turns in doing the same, their rough hands gripping my hips as they did it mercilessly. I cried out in pleasure and pain, my body writhing with ecstasy as they took me over and over again. I lost track of time as I was passed around like a toy, but I enjoyed it. Finally, the men were spent, and I lay on the floor, panting and covered in sweat and other liquids. They laughed and jeered at me, calling me names, but deep down, I knew that I had found my true calling as a sissy. As they left the room, I smiled to myself, knowing that I would always crave the feeling of being used and degraded. They then ordered me to start cleaning up the movie theater. I was told that if I leave any traces of dirt behind, it won't be good for me. As the men left the room, I was left feeling both exhilarated and humiliated. My body was sore and used, but a thrill ran through me at the thought of cleaning up the theater in my sissy outfit. I knew I had to do it, no matter how degrading it may seem. I gathered my strength and stood up, feeling the sticky residue of the men's lust on my skin. With a deep breath, I started the task of cleaning up the theater, picking up discarded popcorn boxes, soda cups, and candy wrappers left behind by the audience. As I bent down to pick up a piece of trash, I felt a hand touch me, and I jumped in surprise. One of the men had returned, a wicked grin on his face as he watched me clean. "You missed a spot, sissy," he taunted, his voice dripping with malice. I blushed deeply, feeling a mix of shame and arousal at being watched while performing such a menial task. I knew I had no choice but to obey, so I continued cleaning under the watchful gaze of the man, his eyes roaming over my body with undisguised lust. After what felt like an eternity, I finally finished cleaning up the theater, every trace of the men's presence erased. I stood up straight, feeling a sense of accomplishment despite the humiliation I had endured. The man approached me, his hand trailing down my arm in a possessive gesture. "You did well, sissy," he said, his tone softening slightly. "You have potential. Maybe we'll see you again soon." With that, he turned and left, leaving me standing alone in the empty theater, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. As I walked out of the theater, the cool night air hit my skin, and I shivered, feeling a sense of freedom and liberation wash over me. I knew that this experience had changed me in ways I couldn't fully comprehend, but one thing was certain: I had embraced my sissy side, and there was no turning back. If you enjoyed this story and want to show your support, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Also, for every comment with 69, you could have a chance to video chat with me. Thanks for your time.